We're encouraged now to increasingly be cashless. We're encouraged to go online, to get advice, to buy things, to make appointments. And this tech infrastructure that backs all of that up is essentially run by a handful of very large companies. And what we're seeing now is that if something goes wrong, the impact is really vast.
After a day of worldwide IT chaos caused by a global outage, the boss of the cybersecurity firm responsible has said it could be some time before all systems are back up and running. Thousands of flights have been cancelled. Banking and healthcare has been affected, including the NHS, and some TV channels have been taken off air. Millions of people have been affected. The problems were first reported in Australia before spreading across the world, including here, where there were delays and big queues at airports. The American cybersecurity firm Crowdstrike did finally come forward to admit a defect in a software update it had issued which crashed Windows devices. The company is deploying a fix, but not before widespread mayhem. Tonight, we'll be looking at exactly what happened and how it's affected patients, passengers and businesses. Our first report is from our technology editor, Zoe Kleinman.
The world woke up this morning to global chaos.
Massive tech outages are impacting airlines, businesses, offices.
Thousands of flights grounded globally, long queues, frustrated passengers.
There was nothing on the boards, there was no ground staff.
In the UK, doctors' surgeries forced to let down patients.
We're going to have to cancel your appointment.
Businesses unable to serve customers.
We'll try to receive a credit card payment and it just would not accept it. Credit card and debit card.
A single update from this US antivirus company. You may have never heard of the cybersecurity firm Crowdstrike before, but it has nearly 24,000 customers around the world, many of them huge organisations like airlines and banks.
We're deeply sorry for the impact that we've caused to customers, to travellers, to anyone affected by this, including our companies. So we know what the issue is. We're resolving and have resolved the issue now. It's recovering systems that are out there.
So what went wrong? First of all, to be clear, this was not a hack or cyber attack. You don't need to change your passwords. A faulty update meant millions of Microsoft users saw this screen pop up. If you know it, it'll make you shiver. The blue screen of death. It pops up when there's a critical error affecting the operation of your PC, in this case accompanied by an unending loop of trying and failing to restart and launch properly. It only affected machines running Microsoft, but there are a lot of them. And what's the fix? Well, it's not straightforward. Every single machine affected needs a manual reboot in safe mode, which is not as simple as turning it off and on again. Microsoft says some people have had to do it 15 times, so it could take a while. Spare a thought for IT departments.
There will be someone in Crowdstrike who will be in a lot of trouble right now for not getting this right, and there will be a lot of people working this weekend in businesses all over the world to try and fix this problem and to patch it up. But at the same time, you know, this is the price we pay for being so reliant on digital infrastructure.
From travel chaos to grocery shop payment problems, there'll now be tough questions about the damage done by one faulty update. How did it slip through Microsoft's safety nets? The cybersecurity world still advises that it's a good idea to keep on top of software updates, although perhaps today is not the day to bang that particular drum.
At Gatwick Airport, passengers who should have been on planes were forced to wait out delays.
So people are tired, they've been handing out water. The boards don't really say anything. So it tells you where to go, but there's no departure. There's no departure, like times of flights.
Many airlines found themselves unable to use their normal systems.
We've had to revert back to pen and paper, basically, and manually check each of our customers in. Of course, that takes longer for our customers. So we've seen a good operation, but it's a slower operation, and we expect that operation to continue today.
From chaos at Amsterdam to planes stuck on the ground at Newark in the US, cancellations and delays spread around the world. Edinburgh stopped accepting incoming flights. Delayed passengers tried to figure out their options.
A little bit stressful. Hopefully it'll be okay now. But the staff at the airport have been great.
Here at Heathrow Airport Terminal 3, for a time this morning, passengers were turning up to be told they couldn't drop off their bags and they just had to go away and wait for more information.
On Britain's railway, most services have been running, but there's been some disruption and problems with passenger information systems. People whose flights have been cancelled should be offered rebooking or a refund, but probably not compensation, as it'll count as extraordinary circumstances. Back at Gatwick, that was the reaction to a system reboot after nearly a 7-hour wait to check in for a North Atlantic flight. As the afternoon went on, aviation began to recover, but the knock-on impact of disruption on what was set to be the busiest day for UK flights since before the pandemic will take time to sort out.
Well, for the NHS, it's GP practices in England and Northern Ireland that have been most affected, with doctors struggling to access their records and online bookings. Pharmacy services have also been hit. Here's our health editor, Hugh Pym.
So I am at the minute doing...
Life is usually hectic at GP practices, but a lot more so today. Most in England had no access to electronic patient records, frustrating for doctors and patients.
This has significant impact because actually the bulk of our workload, we need access to people's blood results and people's notes, and so there's a lot that we can't do. All we can really do is minor injuries and minor illness.
At some health centres, only the sickest patients were being seen, with other appointments cancelled.
Yeah, I tried to get an appointment today at the doctor's for 8:30. I was told, unfortunately, due to the systems being down, there was no appointments available, and to go to see the chemist.
I can't get my sick note updated, and unfortunately, I was about to be sanctioned by the Social Security Office.
Only written prescriptions are available, with pharmacists warning patients the electronic system has failed.
Anybody who's coming in for their prescriptions, we have to tell them to go away, go back to the surgery and then get the old-fashioned FB10s, which is the old green prescriptions, and then get that signed off by the doctor.
Really nice to meet you.
Ministers are monitoring developments across the health system.
There's a genuine glitch that's affected systems right across the world and is having a particular impact on GP practices and pharmacy. We're working with colleagues across government to get things back up and working as quickly as possible.
Hospitals say urgent and emergency care has not been affected, and if people have got appointments booked, they should come in as normal. But no one's denying that there has been an impact on some routine day-to-day activities at NHS trusts.
Unfortunately, due to the global IT issues, we're going to need to cancel your appointments.
While surgeries are postponing some patients and resorting to paper records, NHS England says phone systems are working and there are measures to manage the disruption. But while services in Northern Ireland and England are still affected, GPs can only hope the problems are resolved quickly.
And Zoe, all this just goes to show how dependent we are on IT and how vulnerable we are.
I think it really highlights the fragility of our digital lives. You know, we're encouraged now to increasingly be cashless. We're encouraged to go online, to get advice, to buy things, to make appointments. And this tech infrastructure that backs all of that up is essentially run by a handful of very large companies. And what we're seeing now is that if something goes wrong, the impact is really vast and really wide-ranging. And even once a fix comes into place, it still takes time, doesn't it, to get everything back together. There are some calls for people saying, actually, we shouldn't be so reliant on a few big companies for everything, while other people are saying, well, actually, if we have lots of smaller companies doing this stuff, then are we leaving ourselves more open to vulnerabilities, to weaknesses, to attacks? So it is a real dilemma, I think, but nobody has seen anything of this size. You know, I've been covering outages now for a long time, and normally they're over before they start. So to see something like this have such a huge global impact, I think is really going to make people sit up and think. It certainly made people get cash out of the bank today, put pen to paper and do sort of some old-fashioned things, I suppose, that we haven't done for quite a while because we haven't had a choice.
No, indeed.